Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to make this pretty quick. It is today, March the 30th, 2021. We're getting close to this monthly candle close. We are going to go over the ES futures today. After the ES futures, we're going to dive into this ETFs, the SPY, the QQQ, DIA, IWM. I'm going to show you my process with those four ETFs and also give you my sentiment based off of the ES futures. Then I'm going to go ahead and go over my picks of the day, which are going to be MARA, MARA, ABNB, and then FDX for FedEx. After that, I'll show you a little bit of Bitcoin because we have had some traders who are requesting that. Let's go ahead and get started here with the ES futures. As you can see, we are currently down about 13 points. Translated into the SPY, we're talking about $1.30. So for about every 10 points, you're looking for a dollar in the SPY. Just remember that as we go back over to the SPY here in a few minutes. So first things first, the weekly is on your left, and on the right, I'm using a 4-hour. The EMAs that I have on here are your 9, your 22, and 44 is what I use. And that is represented just for a visual effect of that cloud, just so you can understand what we're looking for as far as trend goes. Now, the weekly continues to look bullish, but price for me did not hold a crucial level. In order for that crucial level, we need 39.60. I want you to look over here, actually 39.65, I apologize. Over here I have a bull's need and a bear's need. Okay, and everything between here is noise for us. What that means is here in Trendy Trading, we stay small allocation, okay, and allow for the trade to just work for us. So really you could see that we're just consolidating in this area for now after a nice big run up. Okay, that's all that's going on here is a digest period. And unfortunately, a lot of traders want to push hard into this cycle, and the best approach is just to go small or just to wait for a break of trend. All right, so here on the weekly, let's go ahead and look at the 9 EMA. You can see that price, there's something that happens every time price comes into the 9. So what you see across the board is you have a lot of traders who want to get out when price is below the 8 and 9. We approach things a little bit differently. So I study the chart itself, and you could see that every time a weekly comes into the 9 EMA, it's flushing. Okay, I call this a flush low. It's flushing out anybody that may have stops underneath their 8s or their 9s. And then it's reclaiming that 9 EMA, which is really, really important. So for me, I have to respect the candle close itself. So this does not get me out of trades. Matter of fact, I'm looking to buy on the reclaim of this 9 EMA. Okay, so this continues to work in this market. And if you look at candle structure so far, we are making lower highs. Okay, well, there's a higher high right here on this week. Now we're only on Tuesday and we have a couple more days left. Short week, Friday we're off. We are continuing to make higher lows. So the trend is actually up here. All right, and although we're close to all-time highs and the trend is moving up, it feels as if we're at all-time lows, right? So stocks are having a really hard time, and I'm not going to continue talking about that because everybody knows that. We could draw some lines on here if you like. This helps some traders, and you could see we're just kind of stuck in here. All right, so when I say a break of the trend, what I'm talking about is a move up over this pivot high. Once we move over this pivot high, come back to check what was resistance, turns into support. I have my projected move here into 4,005, 4,052 and 3/4. Okay, but the problem is most traders, unfortunately, they want the now. So in order to kind of understand the now, we're going to take your eyes over here to the 4-hour candle. And the reason why I'm choosing this is because it is still Tuesday and we have until Thursday this week. So let's dive into something a little bit closer to what most people are watching. All right. Now, we have what's called the trendy daily edges. Basically, this edge up here, we're looking for this to be resistance. This edge down here, we're looking for this to be support. I have two alerts set for the ES futures, and once again, this is what drives me in the entire market. This lets me know whether I want to press on my positions, whether I want to go small, or if I want to go large. At the current trend on a 4 hour, I want to be small, I want to have wider stops, and I want to give time for my positions. Again, bulls need this level, bears need down here. Everything is noise in this area. If for some reason we do push down into the 39.33 by 27 area, I would be looking for buyers to step in. Again, this would look something like this into this area. Wait for a reclaim of at or around 39.33, and this is where I'd be looking to go long towards 44 and back to 53. That's the ES futures. Let's go ahead and dive into what I feel is the easiest process out there. I came across this and made this up about almost 5 years ago. And I'm telling you what, the overall results here are amazing. All right. The thing is you have to be patient. All right. This is what I call the neutral strategy. When we are in the neutral, we're staying neutral. All right. We have to take a lot of things into account. You could see I put these out over the weekend for our traders, and I also give them a link to the actual chart. So if they're using Thinkorswim, or even if they're using a different platform, Thinkorswim users are able to put this right on their chart. And then other users can just kind of copy and look at the levels themselves. But let's go ahead and go over this. The neutral is between 396 and 392. Notice that the weekly ATR on the SPY is at or around $12. So really, this is just like a nice little, 1/3 right here of this ATR. All right. So what we're looking for is these levels to hold. But if we were to break to the outside, we're looking for a move into the all-time high and then up into 401 and 403. Those are pretty much translated into the ES I just showed you. And then below the neutral, then possibly we can see 390.95 and 389. However, this is a very choppy market, and as you could see over here on the intraday, we continue to see that these lines are working. Okay, again, going back to what I said about respecting the candle close, you have to respect it. Okay, so I'm using a 4 hour. We're getting no 4 hour closes over the top, and we're getting no 4 hour closes under the bottom. Once again, neutral strategy. If you like spreads using a neutral strategy, we can look to be selling premium outside of the neutral and underneath the neutral. Okay, and then we can manage those trades if for some reason we break to the downside or break to the upside. Overall, my sentiment for the SPY this morning is going to be neutral until one of these levels break, 396.77, or to the downside, I'm going to rate or push this down to 391.48. This is my range. Let me go ahead and draw that for you. Again, right here and right here. That is the range. Let's go ahead and move on to the QQQs. All right, so I have a current position in this, and I want to go ahead and show you that just so that we can be as transparent as possible, which is 100% transparent. Let's go ahead and come down here. So what I did is I did a little bit different spin on this. So last week, I'm sure if you follow me here on Twitter, you would see that we've been doing very well with a strangle. And the reason why we use a strangle in the market is when traders are basically at a neutral strategy, but you're looking for a bigger move than expected. All right. So let me go ahead and bring this over for you. All right, so currently 31 days out, and what I want to do is I wanted to capture big tech earnings, and this kind of captures that into 30 April. All right, and as we move down here, you're going to see I'm biased to the bullish side, and I'm going to go over that here in a second with you. And so the reason why I'm naked directional on the 335s is because I'm bullish, and on the put side, what I did is what's called a debit put spread. All right, so I bought the 300s and I sold the 297s. Okay, again, I bought the 300s, I sold the 297s, and over here I went naked directional on the 335. The idea is if one of these pushes up to 100 to 200%, I will sell that, and then one of these trades will be free, and I'll let that go either as protection to the downside, or if for some reason this hits first or gets close to 100 to 200%, I still have the call side for a rainy day. All right. So let's go ahead and minimize that. And now I want to show you the charts themselves. So this over here on the weekly, on the Qs, and over here is on the 4 hour. So what I'm watching very closely, and it continues to play out, the issue is we have topping wicks, and I've said this for the last several weeks. Anytime I start seeing topping wicks, it's you need to be cautious. You need to have a neutral strategy. You need to either be selling premium or just going small, as I said before. Now, we continue to make higher lows from the trendy edge, this blue trendy edge we use for longer swings, but you can see higher lows. Some traders talk about the rounding bottom, okay? And so if you look here, we definitely have a rounding bottom, okay? And it looks like this. We kind of got that right there, and then it's moving up, all right? Now, my overall range, this is a trendy edge. These pink lines are trendy edges. Notice that the trendy edge is holding, and every time it comes down, it flushes, but puts right back up. Now we are in the cloud, so therefore we are choppy. If you are technically looking for a bounce, a bigger bounce, we are going to see that once price raises over the 318 level. So just like the SPY, we are using a neutral strategy. Notice that the levels are working so far. So you could see that to the tick. All right, and then up here again is resistance, but a breakout of here. I believe not only do we break above the weekly cloud, but that rounding bottom is now becoming a trend to the upside, breaking the high, taking out this pivot here, and you can see we could draw something like this again, okay, something like this, and then we get that breakout. All right, so notice the 335 target. This is what I'm looking for into earnings. And then on the downside, what I've done is I sold, again, let me go ahead and show you. I sold or bought the 300, and then I sold my 297 level. The reason why I did that is just in case we get some big pullback, okay, and this ends up being a bear flag and we pull down into here, I do expect this area to work. I would then collect my profits, and then we should see a bounce from here, and then over time could see something like this, a big head fake and then nice move up. So that is explaining my strategy on the Qs again for 31 days out. Let's go ahead and look at the DIA. The DIA we call the diamonds or the Dow Jones. I want to go ahead and show you what's going on here. Notice on the weekly we stopped right here at the neutral level. Again, the levels do not lie. You could see that we're just kind of hanging out here, and while the QQQ is weak and the SPY just can't make an all-time high, the Dow continues to climb. All right, so it's very high up on the curve, and it's holding right near the all-time highs. I would say that this is a lot like the SPY. Now, understanding quad witching that we just got rid of, all we're waiting for is for these ratios to come back into check. Basically what you see as we get close to quad witching, there are ratios between the four of these, and I can explain those once you become a member here at Trendy Trading. There's a lot of information I can give you to help you better understand this. The ratios themselves are just trying to synergistically come together, and once they do, we can then begin to trend either to the upside, which does look favorable here, or to the downside. Okay, so again, neutral strategy here for the DIA. What I'm looking for, let's see if we can come into the 4-hour 9 EMA this morning and find a bounce here. And if we reclaim the 331.61, I do believe we can make the ATH at 332, roughly 332.84, and anything above that is a breakout into new highs. Let's go ahead and look at the IWM. All right, what I'm seeing here is a little bit of rotation. Here's a level from yesterday. Again, can't make these up. You see we stopped right here at the bottom. We're kind of hanging on the edge here. Now, the rally itself moved from the trendy edge. It came up, it hit one of our trendy indicators, back down. And so what I'm looking for here, it's very important. Instead of chasing the lows here, I would expect if everything else plays out as expected, we will not make a new low here. Okay, so far we do have a higher low on a 4 hour. This is an H pattern, so please be careful. But if we come right down here around 210 and start to go bid, I believe the market synergistically starts to come together and we could see a nice tradable bounce here back up to 214 and possibly 217. Okay, so that's what I'm watching for there. I'm going to go ahead and create an alert at or below. And that is going to be right around that 1046 before 1030 to 1030. And let's go ahead and make sure it's below. And that's just going to let me know we're right on target here to the downside as long as 214.26 cannot hold. All right. So that is IWM. Now let's go into our actual trade plan. So before I move on, just to be very clear, the ETFs, they're really straightforward. I go long above the neutral or I go short below the neutral. Then getting into our trades, what I'm looking at is going to be MARA. I'm not in this. This was a trade plan from yesterday, but it wasn't quite working the way I wanted it to. So I did not take it. So I try to make this as easy as possible. My risk is the red line here at 36.75. My targets are 40.87, 43.36, and up here towards 45.77. Playing this off of Bitcoin, and I'll show you Bitcoin here towards the end. All right, so here we are on MARA. Again, my risk is 36.75. What that means to me, okay, what that means to me is that that is my stop. If I go small, I will actually add there on a reclaim. Okay, so again, stops for the risk, targets to the upside 40, 87, 43, and 45. Let's go ahead and move on very quickly. And you can see the next one is ABNB. Let's go ahead and go over this. I already had a plan that I sent out. And you can see so far it's working. We hit the first target at 184.69. Over that, I'm looking for 190.7 and 194.28. The risk in this case is 177.53. If you're not in this trade, what I would be looking for is to see if we get a pullback right close to the red here. We should then start to go bid. If we don't and we flush, okay, then I'm waiting for the reclaim above this 177.53, and then I'm buying time, and again smaller, looking for these targets here around 190 to 194. Great opening opportunity here in ABNB. And over here on the weekly, you can see there are lower highs but higher lows. This is a sideways trend, and therefore in a sideways trend we go smaller and wait for the trend break. Okay, very straightforward process here for ABNB. Let's go ahead and move into the next one. We are going to look at FDX. This has been on my radar since, well, I love FDX and I've traded quite many times here and done very well. And as we planned, you could see that FDX has worked very well. Now, I put this blueprint out quite some time ago. And basically, the way we trade this is from the green into the red. Very straightforward. Notice that we've come up to the trendy edge. That's this blue line that's been there for months. We didn't just put this on there. And what we do here is we want to break above that blue line and actually hold. Okay, so nice little rally here from the green box. We got a nice little flag, okay, right in here. You can see that. My risk right now is 275.71. It is holding. The break of 281.30 and a hold could get us into 289.304. Now I had an amazing trade in HD, and this reminds me a lot of HD. We just need to start chewing through these sellers up here at this 281 level. This is something that I would be buying time and actually buying somewhere at the 300 to 305, again with a lot of time. On the candle structure, you can see here we are going from white to green, so the momentum is changing very nicely. But we do have at 289, we do have some selling pressure right around this level. So please be careful. Yes, we could see about $8 to the upside, maybe 6 to 7, 6 to 8. And again, the risk is at 275. I like out of the money in this case. Nothing too crazy though. Typically, for me, I'm looking with time at 30 deltas to 35 deltas. Okay, so that's what I have on FTX. And now, lastly, let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin. That's going to be the Bitcoin futures, same thing, backslash BTC. All right, you can see here we had the green box, we have a red box. This is what I've updated on Twitter weeks ago, and you can see that it's worked quite well. Last week it came right into our green box at 51132. Just as I was showing you on FTX, it's simple. We're trading from the green box into the red box. What we're looking for now is if we can close over this target that I've given you, 59705, we need to hold, break, come back, higher highs, then our probabilities increase to the 63508 level. Therefore, making MARA a nice sizable trade to the upside as long as we can hold these levels. I would be waiting for the entire market, probably 30 minutes to an hour today. Let some of those algos get out of the way. Let's see what they're going to bring us. All we're looking for is for those previous lows to hold, make new higher highs. It's a bumpy road, but the overall trend remains intact, believe it or not. If you guys like what you see here, please give us a like, give us a retweet. Check out TrendyTrading.co. We have an amazing special for 7 days of a trial. You get everything that we do here. Every single morning I do this. All right, I can't make it any more simple. We have a risk, which is your stop. You have an entry, and we have our targets. And then from there, we go ahead and give you broad market analysis with videos. We give you educational content. You learn to do what I'm doing. I'm here to help you become a more consistent trader. Thank you. Have a great day. We'll see you later. And maybe if we take any of these, we will send you an update.